So hi, one of the Good Nights podcaster, Trevor from Young Planetary. We're going to ask him some questions today about their new EP, locations. I can't hide a place. So
That's the full title.
Yeah,
That's the,
Yeah,
the
I'm,
full.
that's the
The
extended.
full one.
I'm going to start. So congrats on that release. I'm not going to try saying the name again. How do you feel about the response to it so far?
It's been really great. I mean, we're still like in the first week, I think, or what's today? The 17th. It came out. We're in like the first like week or two, I think, at this point. It came out the 7th, and I have no idea what day it is right now, but
17th.
yeah, we're 17th. Yeah, so yeah, like a little over the first week, and the response has been really good. Like a lot of my homies picked it up. A lot of people kind of came out of the woodwork on it and picked it up. And then our publicist, Mike from Earshot Media, he's been getting it all over the place too. So for the first few days that it was out, every morning I'd wake up and notification after notification after notification of just like people like talking about it and stuff. So it was really sick because we've never really had any kind of response to us putting out new music. So it was nice that so many people were really sweet about it and really cool and supportive. And even friends of mine were like super stoked and asking me about it and, congratulating me. So yeah, it was rad. It was a really good like first little bit. So now we have to figure out how to kind of keep the momentum going because these are very different times and we can't go on tour or play shows or do what we normally would. So I'm glad that you guys wanted to have me on because like we're just sort of floating around waiting to see what the next move is because it's kind of weird waters to navigate. And then I have to do some more promo related stuff on my end after I talk with you guys. So we're just trying to stay busy with stuff because now that it's out, it's like, all right, well, it's out. Like now what?
Yeah.
Now what do we do? So I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Isn't this
All
your
right.
first like EP release in a hot minute too?
Yeah. We haven't put out anything. Jesus, when was that? It's been about 3 years.
Wow.
Maybe 3.5, maybe. I think 2017 was the last time we put out anything, and it was like a 4-song, like super, just minimal EP, like even less than this one. So yeah, it's been a while since we put out anything new. So a lot of people were stoked on it, but now we have to do the whole follow through with it.
Yeah.
And like we can't even really like all be in the same room together either right now because of COVID, because of different things like the different professions that we all have. Like we have to sort of navigate all that. So I haven't even seen the boys since it came out, to tell you the truth, or even before that. I haven't seen them in a while. Yeah, it's been a minute. So we're all just sort of on Facebook Messenger just all day talking to each other. But yeah, we can't like kick it or anything, which is a drag.
Dang. All
Yeah.
right. That sucks. But I'm glad it's going well so far, though.
Yeah,
it's really good to hear.
Yeah, it's been cool. Hopefully within the next like little while, like some reviews and different features will start rolling in. So just kind of waiting to see. I mean, the first week is like a really important week, but with everything going on, it's all kind of like uncharted territory, kind of.
Yeah.
So we're trying to make the most of it and just get it out there as much as possible. And it's it's for sale on vinyl and it's out there in the world.
Yeah.
So like go get it.
It's legit.
It's happening. It's going down right now. So yeah.
Yeah, I know you said the first week's important, but like even without reviews and stuff, it sounds like you guys have had a pretty good first week. Also considering it's been 3 years.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, like after that span of time, you just have to be happy that anyone is stoked. Like even if it's even if it's just one person, because we were doing the promo lead up, pretty heavy, earlier in the summer, but there was that span of time where it just like didn't feel right to promote ourselves in any sort of way or promote anything that wasn't sort of related to the the political nature of everything going on. So we kind of went silent right before the record came out, and then we tried to kind of do like a slow ramp up to get people interested again. But yeah, it's been a weird few months. Yeah, in so many different ways. But we tried to do it in the best, most respectful way that we possibly could, and I'm happy with it being out, and I'm happy that people like it. And, you know, even friends of mine are like, damn, dude, this is like really good. I'm like, thanks. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
We worked really hard on it for a really long time. So yeah, it's just rad to have it out.
Let's see.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm so happy to hear that. So, what was your writing process like for this EP?
Well, I mean, typically with a lot of the songs, like it'll just start with me like on acoustic. That's how I write pretty much everything. Like even when I was in like hardcore bands, you know, back in the day, like anytime I wrote anything, it was usually started on just like on my acoustic guitar. So most of these songs started that way. I'm trying to think if there's any sort of like outliers, but I think for the most part, that's mostly how they started. They kind of changed a little bit here and there, like in the studio, but you know, the way that we usually do it is like I'll come to the crew with like a song or like a skeleton of a song and be like, here's the idea, here's the vibe, here's some, you know, here's the lyrics to go with it, and kind of show them, and then we kind of build on it from there. And that, you know, it was pretty much the same as it's always kind of been with that way. That seems to work for us pretty well. And then the boys take what I do and make it way better, more, you know, interesting to listen to, and add their own flair. And yeah, without them, I mean, this record would be nowhere near as good, like at all. They all, the rest of them brought so much to this collection of songs that I mean, there's no way that I could ever like repay the amazing work that they all did. But yeah, everyone came out of the gate swinging. You know, like we were just ready to put out a record that we could be really proud about, and that like, I'm trying to think of a good way to put it. So like, you know, when you do something and you like go to show your friends and you're like, here's this thing, but like and there's like a disclaimer that goes with it.
Yeah.
We wanted to like be able to go to our friends and be like, here's our record.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah.
Hope you like it. So we tried really hard to accomplish that. And I think we did. I'm super stoked on it. I'm really happy with how it turned out.
Oh.
I liked it.
Yeah. Oh, I'm glad. Yeah. It's a fun little EP, man. Yeah. It gets the job done for sure.
So can you tell me a little bit about your headspace while you were writing that EP?
So let's see. I'm trying to like think about it like song by song, because some of them are like new, and then other songs are like I've had written for years. So I would say with like the two newest songs on the record were the first two singles that we put out, ironically. So I wrote Dig, which is the first single. I wrote that while I was living in Seattle. Like I was just sleeping on my friend's couch, like trying to figure out what my next move was. And the words just kind of like came to me. You know, the guitar riff just kind of happened, you know, like when you do something crazy in your life, you just sort of start getting inspired by kind of everything that's around you, because it's all very new. So for that song, it was just like a combination of being in a new place, not knowing anybody other than like the couple people that like I was kind of staying with at that time, and like meeting a girl, and you know, being on my own in a new city, and like all this kind of stuff. So that's kind of where my headspace was for that one. And then a lot of the other songs on the newer side of the spectrum, like Separate Rides Home, which was the second single, that one was written like a couple years ago during like a pretty nasty breakup that I went through. So that's kind of where my headspace was for that one. So like in the EP itself, it's very like extremes like all around. You know, even in like the kind of the production aspect of it too. Like we just tried to throw as many ideas and crazy shit at the walls that we could. And that's, you end up with songs like Stung, for example, which has like our most like ambient sounding parts, and our like we have like weird vocoder stuff going on all over the place. And then out of nowhere, there's a full-on breakdown, like a counterpartsy sounding breakdown. So I would just say, like, during the recording process itself, it was just like, how outside of our comfort zone can we get? Like, and that also, like I was saying, like goes to the first two singles with you know, me moving and being in, that was super uncomfortable, and then going through a breakup is always really strange and awkward and terrible. But then in the studio was like, dude, let's just let's just try everything. Like, who cares? Like there were no stakes whatsoever. It was just like, let's put as many crazy things on this record as we possibly can. And that was a really fun way to do it, where it's like, this could be our last record. You never know. It's taken so long that like this could easily be the last one. Let's go out swinging as hard as possible.
Yeah.
So then that was kind of the mindset for all of that.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So
Yeah.
what made you choose the name Locations I Can't Place?
So that is pulled from the song Stung that I was just talking about. And that song in particular kind of sums up a lot of the like overarching subject material of the record, where it's about like popping up somewhere and you don't really recognize where you're at. You don't really recognize, the people you're around or what you're really doing. But like everything, you're just kind of going with emotions though, because you don't really just know what's happening. And that's kind of what that lyric is about. So like, locations I can't place. Like, I'm going to all these places, I'm around all these people, and it seems like this is where I should be, but I still feel like super weird about it, and like isolated and anxious. And yeah, it's just about like growing up and thinking that you're on like one track, and all of a sudden you're somewhere completely different. And in between both of those, you're like, what the hell is going on? Like, what is happening? So that, and I just thought it was such a fun like play on words too, that it was instantaneously became the title. I was just like, yeah, that's what we should call it. Yeah. Like it just kind of sums up everything, about the record. And I remember when I first wrote it, it started off as this very literal thing. Cause and this guy was so long ago that I wrote that song, but, someone was asking me about like some of the tattoos I have. And I remember like looking down and being like, well, I got this one fucking back when, and like there was, like a whole story behind it, but I was like, Jesus, like that was so long ago that I don't even like, that seemed like another lifetime,
Yeah.
And that sort of idea became sort of like the pulse of the entire record. Just that sort of like, remember that one time I did that one thing with those people, and now it's like I don't even speak to those people anymore. I don't even go to those same places. So yeah, it was just kind of that's just essentially what the whole record's about.
Wow, I think that's the best explanation we've gotten for like an EP or album name.
We put a lot into that kind of stuff. A lot of the times, like the choices we make when it comes to our band, like seem kind of weird, or people might not be down with it or whatever. But a lot of the things that we do are very deliberate and like very discussed between the few of us that are in the band. And when it comes to like lyrics and stuff like that, like I write all of it, at least as of now. So I get to sit and spend time with it and like put my own little imprint on it and work into all these like personal experiences. And I don't have to necessarily like water down anything, because like for the sake of like all the other guys, like as soon as I bring them up, like bring lyrics to them, they're like, yeah, these are sick. This is great. Like, let's go. Because they know that like I'm going to take the time to like put the work in and have a story behind it. And even though a lot of our lyrics are really abstract at times, like they're all very much grounded in things that have like happened to me or different experiences that I've gone through like over the years.
All right.
Yeah. And I also hope that it is like universal around, like I hope that a lot of the songs, when people start spending more time like learning the words and stuff, they'll be like, oh shit, like yeah, I feel that,
So what band influences do you think you can hear the most on this EP?
Well, when we were in the studio and like, shit. So how do I put this? So the best way to figure out like what we were all individually influenced by, like during the writing and recording of this record, we actually have a Spotify playlist that we came up with, that it's like 2 or 3 songs from each of us that we were specifically listening to during the writing and recording process. So that's probably the most like literal example that I have of like what we were listening to during this whole thing. But in terms of like the production, like for me personally, it was a lot of Trophy Eyes, Dangerous Summer, Boston Manor, like those kinds of like big anthemic rock bands with really grungy but like crazy vocals and really huge choruses and really fun, like catchy, just like hooks all over the place. So I would say like those were probably the three main ones for me personally, like working on the record, like vocally and just with the guitar stuff too.
Okay.
All right, solid. So, is there a certain feeling you want your listeners to have while listening through the EP?
I keep starting with every question.
Okay.
It's so annoying. I mean, I think it's like a pretty summery kind of record. I think all the songs are like really catchy and like really easy to kind of learn and sing along to. So that was kind of the idea. Like I would love for people to like learn all the words and like sing them all the time and like be super stoked, but then also take the time to like read through everything and be like, oh shit, like this is actually kind of like a really emotional sort of journey, and you'll be able to connect with it on like on a deeper level. But I would say just from like hearing the EP for the first time, I just wanted to be super energetic and catchy and fun and really accessible right away. And then for people to also take the time to like, learn the lyrics and like apply it to their own lives and just kind of find the like relatability in the lyrics themselves, which I think we try really hard to take what we like really want to say and like what our message is and package it in a certain way that it doesn't necessarily always come across that way, because the songs are like super like heavy and like kind of punk driven and like kind of more aggressive sounding, but then the lyrics are like a little bit more like heartfelt, like a little bit more like emo, for the lack of a better word. And I think that's a really fun way to do it. A lot of my favorite bands like put out these songs that are super like catchy right away, and then you like read the lyrics and you're like, this is a depressing ass song. What is going on? Yeah, like what's going on here? So yeah, I just like would love for people to be super jazzed on it, and then like read into it a little bit and kind of find some deeper meanings in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I know you guys just released this EP, but is there anything else in the works, or are you guys just focusing on promoting the hell out of this EP?
Well, we are very focused on promoting this, and especially because it takes a little extra effort now because we can't go on tour and play shows like we normally do. We're that kind of band. Like we're not one of those like cool bands on the internet whatsoever. Like we pretty much had to create an online presence for ourselves over the course of quarantine. Like yeah, we had like followers and likes and all that bullshit, but in terms of having that as another outlet of like the personality of the band, like we hadn't really accomplished that yet. So we were forced to kind of go that way, because at the end of the day, like we are a live band. Like that is what we do. That's what we do best. That's our favorite part of playing music. And I would say that captures like us better than like our latest Instagram post, if that makes sense. But that being said, with this record being out and having sat on it for so long, we already have another record like written and like ready to go.
Damn.
Huh.
Yeah, like I've been working on a bunch of new stuff lately, and I've played some of the newer ones I've written in some of the live streams that we did over the summer. So if you wanted to, I think I'd probably play a good chunk of the next batch of songs that we have, minus a couple that I just barely finished within the last month or so. So if you wanted to hear what some of those are like, go check out some of those live streams. You can find them somewhere on the internet. I can't even keep track anymore because we played like 100 of them right when quarantine started. But yeah, we're slowly working on writing the next record, because I think we all very badly we very badly want to get back into the studio, knowing that might be the only way we have to express ourselves musically for the foreseeable future, because who knows when like touring is going to come back around.
Yeah.
So I think we're just eager to like just do whatever kind of music we possibly can. So we're slowly working on writing. it's gonna take a while because none of us can meet up in person and that whole
Yeah.
thing. But yeah, we got some songs. We got some shit coming. It's gonna be really fun. The next record's gonna be like, it's gonna be rad. I'm excited.
All right.
Okay.
So there's
Wow.
a
Yeah.
record slowly in the works. Okay. Cool.
Mhm.
Yes.
So that's all the questions we have today. Is there anything you would like to plug?
Buy the record on vinyl. It'll probably ship out later in the fall because we're still waiting for the records to be like delivered to our label,
Mhm.
basically. So check out the record on vinyl. Listen to it on Spotify or whatever you have because it's everywhere now. And then check out Hidden Home Records, Earshot Media, Pinup Artist Management. That's our crew right now. They're helping us out. And I'm trying to think. Other than that, just be on the lookout for stuff, just content coming out from us. I'm working on a sort of like track by track breakdown of
Yeah.
the entire record. That's what I'm going to be working on after I get off the phone with you guys.
All right.
Yeah, so just kind of check our socials and engage in conversations with us and listen to the record and just hang in there, stay safe, be healthy, all that fun stuff.
Yeah. All right.
Solid.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you for sitting down with us. This has been Trevor from Young Planetary, and we're the Good Noise Podcast.